Hello again, Year 5. I hope you all found yesterday's writing the second section part really easy. Um, if you do need any help with it still, it's not too late to email and find out before you start today's lesson. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. My emails are open all day. This is the third section. So yesterday we wrote about the studies, if you're doing Helen Sharman, or you wrote about Tim Peake's time in the army. And today's where it gets to the most important part for our biography. Again, this time I'm going to try and keep the starter even smaller. I think a lot of you understood parentheses yesterday, so I'm hoping today you can just get on with it. I've given you the example at the top. This one's a bit more open-ended. There's not really a right or wrong answer, as long as it makes sense in the context of the sentence. I'm hoping that you can just quickly write the answers down in your books, everyone. And once you've done that, I'd really love to see some sent into the email. And obviously, I'll see them when you hand the books in for me to mark on this Friday. If you do need any help with the starter again, just email me straight away and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Hopefully straight away. So, I'll leave you a couple of minutes just to get on with this. If you want to pause the video, again, it's not going to be a long video this morning. I just want to get you on. You've either got writing 2 paragraphs now. Ideally, you should know exactly what you're doing. But again, like I keep saying, if you need any help, and Miss Biggs is available to answer any emails, and Miss Saeed and Miss Conley are on the phones as well, so you should even be able to talk to them too. So, I'm going to read this example. We'll go through Tim's time in space. So, the first couple of paragraphs I did do about Helen, as you know, so I'm going to do these ones about Tim, just because I think it's probably only fair that those doing Tim can see a good example about theirs, but I'm sure before that you'll have given it a really good go. I know a lot of people in my class are brilliant writers, and I know Miss Biggs' class are too, that read something like this and then just go above and beyond when it comes to their turn to writing it as well, which is really good to see every time. So, Tim's time in space. Here's what I've wrote about Tim. So, after 18 years working in the military and his time as a helicopter testing pilot, Tim was looking for a new adventure. It was at this time that he stumbled across an advert for the European Space Agency, who, for the first time ever, see how I've used parentheses there, had allowed applicants from Great Britain in 2008. So the parenthesis, I could have got rid of that for the first time ever, but it adds information. So Tim's found it. It's the first time they're ever accepting British people, and Tim's leapt at his chance. Okay, I'll continue reading. Tim, being as adventurous as he is, leapt at the chance to take his adventures and experiences beyond the Earth's atmosphere. He applied alongside 8,000 other people to have the chance to go to space, and after a grueling process, Tim was chosen to be an astronaut and begin his training to eventually begin his mission in the International Space Station, on the International Space Station. During his training, Tim Peake moved to Cologne in Germany, or Cologne, to enter basic training at the European Astronaut Centre, where he learned Russian, so he learned another language, survival skills, CPR, rescue diver skills, movement in zero gravity, and he also underwent resilience training, spending a week underground in a cave and living for 12 days in 2012, deep underwater as an aquanaut, so somebody who lives underwater like he had to do to practice for space, because it's quite similar, for the Extreme Environment Mission Operations of NASA, all in preparation for his mission to the ISS, which was announced in 2013. So in 2013, he'd finished all this training. It was announced that he was going to be on the next flight that they did, which was 2 years away, and he was going to the International Space Station to do different things on there, to do experiments, to repair things. So, all that paragraph there I've talked about is training. Again, you can find a lot more details. You can find exactly maybe what he did underwater if you're doing Tim Peake. Obviously, this happened a long time before Helen went, so if you're writing about Helen, obviously her trainer would imagine would be a lot more different, wouldn't it, being so long ago. So I'm sure those of you that have researched have found some really, really, really important and interesting things about Helen. Feel free to put as much as you can in. Like I said yesterday, I don't think there's never going to be a problem of there being too much detail in a biography. The more detail you can squeeze in, the better your learning will be. So I'll continue. So we talked about his training. Now I'm going to go into his time in space. So on the 15th of December 2015, Pete became the first British ESA astronaut to travel in space when his mission was launched on the Soyuz rocket. On a Soyuz rocket, rather. He was accompanied by American astronaut Colonel Tim Kopra and Russian cosmonaut Yuri Malachenko. 3 days later, so 3 days after December the 15th, they reached the ISS. On the January the 15th, 2016, he and Kopra exited the hatch of the space station on an assignment to replace a failed part for the station's solar panels. So, solar panels are things that power electricity and hot water using the sun's rays. Obviously, you can't exactly plug in a space station, can you? So, they generate their own electricity by using that. So, if a panel's not working, it needs to be replaced. So, that's what Tim did. He went out and he made sure that the International Space Station, the people who live on it and experiment on it, can stay alive up there, can make sure that they have the important things that they need to live. They worked in total darkness while the panels were not generating power to avoid the risk of electrocution. So he was doing a really dangerous job. So remember everything that we've decided in the first few lessons about Tim and how important his bravery is. He was in the army. He's learnt to be brave. He's got to be brave. He's risking getting electrocuted in space. I can't think of any places you want to get electrocuted in the first place, much less be electrocuted in space. So, the pair completed other tasks during their 4 hours and 45 minutes of floating in space. With the job done, Tim became the first ever official British spacewalker, so first official British person to go outside and float around in space. He was literally in space, not on a space station. He was floating around in space. He was the first British person to do that. And again, we've got to think there. I've not done it because I know you're able to do it. You've got to think about why that makes him important. And again, if you're doing Helen Sharman, you'll be writing about why it was so important that she was the first British person to ever go into space, full stop, be that on a space station or anything. You've got to think about why that's important and explain. It's not just about getting the facts down. It's not about getting the detail down. It's explaining what this means, why they're important, and why people should want to be like them. Because again, remember, the whole reason that we're writing this is so that more young people get interested in the science involved with space, and hopefully Britain can have a bigger influence on space. Hopefully we can have more British astronauts. Again, I put some language structures on there. Feel free to pause the video here. Go into lots of detail. You should have still, like I said yesterday, you should have still got your help sheets with lots of useful sentence starters, lots of useful vocabulary. My email's still open. I'll get in touch with you by email if you need help. I can call you if you need me to explain anything to you at all. Please get in touch and please, please, please send me your finished starter work and your finished work for today. I can't wait to read anything. I know my class know that I moan sometimes about having to mark their work, but when I sit down and actually start doing it, I really enjoy reading all the great ideas that you come up with. I don't think in all the times I've looked at work in my class and Miss Big's class as well, I don't think I've ever seen a bad piece of finished writing like this. So please, please send it over. I can't wait to read it. Obviously, at the minute, me and Miss Biggs will both feel like we can't do our job properly because we don't have our usual class of 30 children. So it'd be really nice to see what you've been getting up to at home. Really nice to see all your finished work and see how hard you've been working. And don't forget at the end as well, if you come up with any good ideas, please blue pen like you would at school. You know how much me and Miss Conley in my class encourage you to do that. I'm sure Miss Biggs and Mrs. Saeed do as well. Please, 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 blue pen. Please send us any work. And if you need any help, please get in touch. Stay safe and look after yourself, okay? Goodbye.